listen, this is very important. My wife doesn't come on programs. She's not a speaker, but she wants to share her personal journey of tragedy to triumph, of how she went from making $100 a month to zero and then rebuilt. And what she did, and I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it because it's an inspiring story. But let me start with this. Sam Smith and Kim Petras at the Grammy Awards decided to do something that almost every rock star that gets to a certain level has done before. The Rolling Stones with Sympathy for the Devil, and of course, that eventually led to the Hells Angels beating a guy to death while they were singing Sympathy for the Devil at a concert. Bon Scott with Highway to Hell. Well, guess what? We'll leave that alone. You can't mess around with darkness and pretend it's a game. These people in Hollywood, these people, these elites, think that they can play with fire, releasing a song called Unholy, watch this, and paying homage in that song. I'm not reading you the lyrics. I'm not going to give them that much air. They don't deserve it. But let me show you the video clip. Have a look at this. Now, it's nothing new. Alice Cooper and everybody else. But look at this. Look at this. This is aired and children see it. Everything there, and I know there's always been sexual provocativeness in rock and roll and everything else, but you got the bondage thing, you've got everything, and then there it is. I want you to hold that shot. Now, I used to enjoy the voice of Sam Smith. I think he's an incredible singer, or was anyway. But you can't mess around with this stuff and not turn up on you. The Bible says in Ephesians 5:11, avoid the fruitless deeds of darkness, watch this, and expose them. We as believers, here's the hope. We need to avoid this stuff. Stop buying these records. Not that I think any of you do anyway. Your children, check that they're not listening to this rubbish. That song Unholy is literally unholy. They're mocking God. These guys, like the WEF and all of these guys right now, they are bragging in public about satanic rituals, about the abuse of children, about the sacrificing of children. And yet governments allow this. Governments and TV stations. Now, I'm no one's moral policeman, but there's something pretty sick when you think that. I won't even read you the lyrics of this song. I know that in our area of, well, I won't say who, but a particular denomination was playing this song, or one of the kids at somewhere was playing a song, and someone had to ring up and say, are you listening to this? Now, again, kids are kids, but we've got to train up a child in the way they should go. The problem is that we have to be the kind of people that are also going in that direction. We cannot allow ourselves. You got to make a covenant with your eyes and ears when it comes to this stuff. And that's what this is the hope I want to give you. Make a covenant with your eyes. Avoid these things, watch this, and expose them. That's what it says. Let's get on to Lidia Thorpe. Lidia Thorpe, as we know, the other day resigned from the Greens. You know, Lidia walking in with the, Well, yesterday, news.com, let me read you this. Former Green Senator Lidia Thorpe is set to secure a $1 million payday after splitting with her party and could secure up to 6 staff, watch this, if Prime Minister Albanese agrees to expand her office. Now she's joined the crossbench. Less than a year after she was re-elected for another term, Senator Thorpe is set to join the crossbench as an individual MP, leader of the Black Sovereignty Movement. This is the leader of the divisive movement. She is guaranteed a base salary of $217,000, plus, on top of that, Senator Thorpe will secure another $32,000 a year for electoral allowance. And then Albanese, potentially, potentially, let me tell you, he needs her $1 million to work in the parliament that she says is illegal, that she says is evil, that she says shouldn't exist. Well, how about you start your party, Lydia, and stop taking money from the government and the people that you vilify, that you try to militarize, and that you're trying to cause division, and I believe a form of treason in this country. Burning the flag and carrying on and calling people to war after what you've done. Firstly, you've proven that you're a traitor to your own. You're not loyal. Secondly, you prove that you're a deceiver because you didn't reveal your connections to the bikie gangs. Thirdly, what you are doing, and you must have known that you could get an extra $1 million for being a Brutus. Now, what are we to do? I believe every one of us, let me give you some hope. Number one, write to your local MP and write to your local Labor minister. Write to them. Tell them you reject it. Tell them you oppose it. Send them an email. For evil to prosper, all good people need to do is say nothing. And we cannot be silent, folks. And you know, some people say to me, Pat, some of you come across angry. I'm surprised you're not angry at this. Now, the other thing is people get scared of passion. Well, yesterday, some more sad news for the Australians. The squeeze on borrowers is about to get even tighter. The Reserve Bank of Australia raising the official interest rate by another 0.25%. This is after our wonderful RBA president went and told everybody to go and get home loans. They weren't going to raise interest rates till 2024. And it would lift the benchmark cash rate from 3.1% to 3.3%. Now, that's what they're doing. And then the banks, of course, have got to put their little top up. Philip Lowe should resign. He has deceived the public. Now, the board remains resolute in its determination to return inflation to a target by which they think is acceptable. No, they don't. Jim Chalmers, our treasurer, who's turning us into a Venezuelan banana republic, said there is growing evidence that inflation has peaked. You know why inflation has peaked for him? Because you and I pay his bills. Private cars, eating in Canberra, fancy meals. I don't see any of these guys taking a pay cut to help the economy and the average person in Australia. Now, the RBA governor, Phil Lowe, says he wants to bring down the inflation quickly. Are you kidding me? Just remember, this is driven by another forum of unelected officials. This is the 9th rate, and it will continue, they say. You know, yesterday I read an interesting article, and I'm going to bring Christine in because I wanted to share her story. And in it, let me give you a few things. It was a great article by Adele Martin in one of the newspapers, and she shared about what to do in these difficult times. And it was pretty good advice, I might add. And it prompted me to get Christine on board. So I'm going to bring her on as she doesn't get to the camera now. You know I'm a great salesman when you have a look at how wonderful my beautiful wife is. And she doesn't do this often. But I asked her today because here's what they said, Christine. You know, do a budget. Well, it almost, when you do a budget, it's kind of like getting a wedgie, actually. But a budget, people set their budgets, Christine, and yet now they're forced to reassess after the banks told them go and borrow. Yeah. Then the advice is pay your bills weekly. Well, I think that's a good idea. The problem is that people don't get paid weekly. And then review your habits. That's a good idea. Then earn a second income. You all know I've been telling you, and I'll keep telling you. Matter of fact, on Friday, I've got a VIP guest, one of the world's leading financial teachers, an exclusive global interview, 4 p.m. Friday, which is going to help. But this is the one that got me and why I asked you to come on today. And I know T. Hardecker and some of the great financial people that educate people say, set something aside to make yourself feel good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Christine, and I need you all to listen, get people on board. Everyone sits there and they think huge, successful, pretty, married to Pat. But let me tell you, she's her own woman, I can assure you. She doesn't need my money. Believe you me. Tell them a little bit about your journey and what you went through during the worst global economic crisis in history.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was listening to Pat's intro and I heard him say I went from $100 a month.
No, 100,000.
So let's just correct it there.
I'm sorry.
Because some of you are going like, what the?
No, she went from 100,000 a month.
So I had a business and it was turning over 100,000 a month, and through a business partner that did the wrong thing, lost everything. And it was pretty devastating when everything went down, lost the house. The house was paid for, had to sell everything to pay debt. And I remember sitting on the floor of the house. It was empty, and I just finished emptying everything out to move into a rental. And my kids, had 3 kids, they were all at school, and sitting there in this empty house and just feeling devastated, because at the same time that day my mother died as well.
Wow.
So I sat there in this empty house. I had one of the people that we owed money to call up. I think we owed him like $1,000, and he's like ripping into me on the phone, and it was a really, really tough time. And so anyway, moved into a rental, and at the same time I wanted to try and keep everything, like with my sons, I kind of didn't want them to know everything was disastrous. I wanted the kids to keep going to school, keep doing what they do, and
keep
that was
the normal.
Yeah, just keep the normal and everything going. Because a lot of times too, I find when things go wrong, people all of a sudden, freak out. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm not going here anymore. And then it actually does make it worse. So moved into the house, and anyway, I ended up getting this business, which I'm going to tell you about, and it allowed me to work from home, which was great, because I could earn an income. I work from home. I was my own boss. I could be with my kids, like it would be school holidays, and I'd say to the kids, everybody be quiet. I'm just about to make a phone call, I just got to pretend, So, yeah. But even during that downtime, I remember when things were really bad, and I remember the washing machine broke down and didn't have the money to get a new washing machine. So I am washing everybody's clothes by hand. And again, I never told anybody. I thought, look, I can't do this. I've just, so the thing is, I find, like earlier, I was just talking to my son. We were saying, when you're going through things, persevering and keeping on going is really, really important.
Yeah.
And it's really important not to stop and just keep thinking, what else can I do? Like Pat's always talking about, creating other streams of income, because you don't know when something is going to go. And you don't know if you've got a partner that's all of a sudden going to rip you off. One day you got all this money, next day it's all gone.
Yeah.
So it was a really, really tough time for me. And then again, like I say, just even burying my mother, at the time was pretty tough.
Now, didn't you got your mum died on that day?
Yeah.
And then you got all this hell breaking out.
Yeah.
And you're organising a funeral.
Yes, yeah, and I'm organising a funeral. So trying to mourn. So I'm mourning the loss of my mother, and then the loss of everything else, and all everything we worked for the kids was gone, and thinking like what am I going to do now? So, but it was just I got this product, just started working from home, so started up. It was going quite well at home. And then the GFC hit, so that hit. But do you know what the good thing was? Is I was working for myself. I had everything set up, my office and everything was set up at home. So I wasn't getting kicked out of an office. I didn't have to lay staff off, and I was able to adjust and then just keep you know. So it was just, I was so grateful, and I would just so recommend it to anybody, especially like if you're, you know, a mother and you've got kids, you know, to get into a business yourself. And it's, you know, it's just been such a great thing for me, coming from something that was so bad, you know, and bringing something good.
You said something to us when we were having our tea and coffee. She has the tea, I have the espressos. That's why I talk 20 times faster. You said you made a decision that you were going to take care of yourself and do something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And research has shown that in difficult times like this, a little bit of pampering for yourself lifts your spirit.
Yeah, and I thought, I'm not going to go around looking haggard and long-faced and just stop doing everything, let my hair go grey. Not there's anything wrong if you have grey hair, that's okay. But, you know, I wanted to keep taking care of myself. And I spoke to other women as well that said, you know, even older women that went through like war times or whatever, and they said even though things are really tough, they still made sure they took care of themselves. They made sure they had a good skincare routine. They would, you know, do their hair, you know, and so it really makes a big difference to just to help you feel a little more confident as well. Yeah. You know?
This article I read yesterday, and I quote, it was a brilliant article by Adele Martin. She says, make sure you allow yourself for some fun, and I'll add some pampering. Otherwise, it's like being on a 1,200 calorie diet. It's okay for a little while, but long term it will make you feel miserable and you'll eventually have a blowout.
Yeah, absolutely. So just, you know, you got to keep things up. You know, like with me, I just kept going. I remember saying when it was just so tough and you just feel like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel and you're not sure, you know, where the money's going to come, you know, for the next bill. I was just saying, God, I'm going through all this stuff now, but I don't want to look like I'm going through this stuff. And when I finish, I don't want to look like I've been through anything, you know. So I really did make sure I took care of myself. And so I had, I found this amazing skincare product that I bring out from Sweden. I sell it online, and there's a couple of online pharmacies.
Tell us a bit about that, because pharmacies again, but you've done something special for everyone. And I want you to hear this. Look, our heart is to help people. We want you to feel good emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically. This is your body. This is your temple. And we've only got one. Yeah. And you know, I know, I'm going to let Christine do the talking. I'll jump out of here in a second. But you could spend thousands and thousands. You don't have to do that. Yeah. You don't have to do that. So, Christine, I want you to tell the men and women out there, and by the way, this is for men and women, and Valentine's Day is coming up next week. Yeah,
well, there you go.
There you go.
I think this is a great Valentine's Day. Actually, treat the one you love, which should be yourself, and treat yourself to a nice package, you know.
So tell them about this.
Well, the product is called Yabashi. I started bringing it out from Sweden. It is an amazing skincare product. It's the only one to have an independent study published in the British Journal of Dermatology. So if you just flick to the next slide, James. So it's a true cosmeceutical. It is a prestige brand, and it's got real science. I always say to Pat, this contains the one ingredient that every anti-aging product should contain, and that's proof. It's got no parabens, no sulfates, no GMOs. It's vegan friendly. Hasn't been tested on animals. And what it actually does, and it's actually proven to work because they did do an independent study over 12 weeks.
Not in-house.
Not in-house. No, not a paid study. A proper clinical trial. And so they found it reduced fine lines and wrinkles, average 51% up to 65% in 12 weeks. It evens out skin pigmentation. Like as you get older, you get, you know, a bit of pigmentation. It reduces your pore size. I'm going to tell you this one thing. When I first started using this product, so I've been using it since I was 39. And I found I used to still get pimples. Once I started using this product, I never got pimples anymore because it just reduces that pore size. So
if they've got kids that have got acne, this is a great product as well.
Yeah, and our cleansing cream is actually amazing for if you have kids with acne. And it actually obviously leaves the skin significantly smoother. So I'll get you to go to the next slide, James, if you can. There we go. So this is Professor Beitner. He's the one that did the test. They said it's the one and only non-prescriptive topical anti-aging product to have an independent study published in the British Journal. And it wasn't, as we said, it's not just at some little clinic down the road. This was at the Karolinska Hospital in Sweden. This is the home of the Nobel Prize for Medicine. It's a 10,000 bed hospital. So it's very, very reputable. And he actually specializes in the aging of skin. And because of the ingredients that were in the product, he was very interested and wanted to do a trial. So just flick on, James, that's fine.
Yep.
So it went for 12 weeks, but just to let you guys know how they did this study, which is always really important, because when you're looking, when you see stuff, say, in magazines, and they say, you know, the trials, and it'll say it's like 30 women that did a self-assessment or something like that. This one here, they let them do a self-assessment, but they did a clinical, they had a physician, and it was double-blind placebo. So neither the physician nor the person in the trial knew which side was the active, which side wasn't. So they couldn't be like biased. And then they did the photographic assessment, but the most objective way was what they called laser profilometry, where they literally measured the depth of the wrinkles.
And there's a
the next slide. Yeah. Literally measured the depth of the wrinkles.
This is sensational. What you about?
So if I get you to flip, so you can see all the arrows there with all the where it's all bumpy and wrinkly, and then you can see on the other side there, so that's a before and after. So that's the laser profilometry. It's probably not as sexy as, like, you know, actually seeing physical photos, but I tell you what, it was
the physical photos are
very,
sensational.
very important. So go to the next slide, James. Thanks. So these are the active ingredients, just in case anybody wants to know.
Very important.
Alpha-lipoic acid, acetyl-carnitine, coenzyme Q10. So go to the next slide. We'll just kind of skip.
No nasties in it.
No nasties. So it penetrates the skin barrier. It actually, in a sense, because not a lot of creams actually penetrate. This one actually does. They found it does penetrate, and it converts your inactive vitamin C back into active. And E and glutathione. It's almost like it kickstarts that mitochondria cell in your dermis layer. So it's a very, very active cream.
In other words, it works.
Yes, yeah, I know. Some people like to know
but
some of these things. Some people like to know.
Exactly.
So I'll get to skip to the next one, James. So we just went through that. It reduces fine lines and wrinkles, evens out skin pigmentation, reduces pore size. So we'll go to the next one. And then this is an amazing thing, is like that other one that we showed you, the original cream. This is the study that was published in the British Journal of Dermatology. So literally did have a study. It's like the Bible for skincare. The great thing is then got this other product came across, and it has an independent clinical study as well, published in the Phytomedicine Medical Journal. So, I mean, you've got two things that are incredibly credible. Can you say incredibly credible?
Incredibly credible. That's right. Let's have a look at the next slide.
So the lifting serum actually targets the firmness and elasticity of your skin. So sometimes when you're getting older, sometimes it can be the sagginess of the skin that can make you look older, you know, rather than even wrinkles sometimes. So up to 75% improvement in visible signs of firmness. So so these results were actually phenomenal as well. And that was published in the Phytomedicine Medical Journal. I'll get you to go to the next one.
Now stay tuned, guys, because look at this. This is amazing.
Before and after. So this is only 12 weeks. So just even though you might stop using, you finish your 12 weeks, as you keep using it, it actually keeps working. Wow. So because I even got better results after the 12 weeks. So that's amazing. That's around the crow's feet, around the eye area. That was just 12 weeks.
And the pigmentation photo
and the next one
is sensational.
Yeah, so you can see that pigmentation starting to even out. I mean, you can even see like the wrinkles around her eyes evening out as well. But the girls on the trial too, they were average. They're all around like 70, late 60s, early 70s. So this 70s.
Is not some young 25-year-old model.
There wasn't a bunch of 20-year-olds that probably wouldn't know a wrinkle if it hit him in the face, you know. So that's, so it's amazing results of before and after. So I'll get you swapped to the next one, James. So this is one thing I wanted to do. Like this.
Yeah. Stick around, folks. This is amazing.
We've just gotten another product out from Sweden, and this one is phenomenal. It's a HydroLift Express mask, so it's for firming and repair. So if you just swap to the next one, James, it's what it does, you can actually use it as a primer. So you can put it on under your makeup. So you can still use your normal creams, put this one on like a primer, and it actually like plumps and helps to fill out the lines on your face. So
Wow.
it has, here's the ingredients here, higher, I always have trouble saying
Hyaluronic
acid. AHAs, it's got A, C, and E. So it's gives you a real intense hydration to your skin. You don't wash it off. You just leave it on and put your makeup over the top, even though they call it an express mask, but it's a lift. So, and as I said, it can be used as a primer. I've started using mine as a primer. I love it. You know, and the makeup goes on over really, really easy. Or if you're not wearing makeup, you can still put it on anyway, you know. So
some of us need makeup.
I should have put it on Pat today.
You should have, yes, today.
So we'll go to the next one, James, because what I'm wanting to do is I want to give you guys, it's like Valentine's Day coming up, I really want to give you guys something special. Now,
and feel good in these times.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I actually haven't. This is probably the biggest deal I've ever done, ever. And you won't find it anywhere else except for on my website. You won't find it at any other online pharmacies. I do supply product to some and some pharmacies.
But they're not going to get this.
You will not get this deal. So what you're going to get my original cream, the one in the British Journal of Dermatology. And then, James, next one. Then you're going to get the lifting serum, which targets the elasticity and the firmness as well. That's these two. Thank you, my assistant. And then you're going to get, if you go put up that HydroLift, that you're going to get the HydroLift, the one we were just talking about, that can be used as a primer for instantly firming and moisturizing your skin. You're going to get that. Oh. But drum roll to the next slide. You buy these two products, you're going to get the HydroLift absolutely free. The HydroLift is $98, but we're going to give that to you absolutely free, and you are going to get free postage. But I just got to let you know, I only ordered a certain amount of these HydroLift Express
about 30
masks.
of them or something like that?
Yep. So just get on there, order it. I don't care if you order 2 or 3 packs. Get enough to keep you going for a few months.
Now, just that original cream lasts for about 6 weeks.
6 weeks, morning and night. Same with the lifting serum. The HydroLift will probably last you a little bit longer, but if you can use it twice, you can use it at night as well. It's up to you. But so the total value is $322, and you're gonna get it for $224, and that includes your delivery as well.
So Christine's going to be giving you the HydroLift Express for free. It's a brand new product, just landed from Europe. The original cream, the lifting serum, and we're going to cover your postage in Australia.
Yeah.
If you're overseas, you want to email us, we can. I'm going to have the team put the link in there. Now, there's only about 30 of these available. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Just go on. Look, as I said, I have never done a giveaway at like a $98 product for free. I have never, ever done that. So get on there, take advantage of it now. I can't guarantee that we will ever do this again, but because it's new and I want you guys to try it as well. Get it into your regime. I want to offer it to you for free.
Let me tell you the one thing that this product has, proof.
Yeah.
And Christine is going to be 60 years of age soon.
I'm 59 in June.
Yeah.
So next year I hit my 60th birthday. And this is all I use.
That's it.
This is it.
That's it.
I don't use anything else. I don't even go get facials or microdermabrasion. I don't do anything like that. I wash my face every night and I use my routine, and that's it.
We get comments all the time about skin and everything, and many of the ladies and men, by the way, this is a great product for men as well.
Absolutely.
Do yourself a favor. I know times are tough. We're making these things about. Go to David Jones and ask them if they would allow you to do what this does or what that would do. Guaranteed you won't get a yes.
Well, when I first brought this out, with the original cream, I was advised to sell it. Don't go under $200 per bottle, between $200 and $300.
Right.
But I just thought, I want it to be affordable, and I want, women in Australia to be able to use it, have a really good, credible skincare. And the guys
out there that need help.
I know guys use it, but they don't say anything. They secretly use it.
Let's go back and have a look at that slide again. So, guys, there's about 30 of them available. We're going to click on that link. You get the original cream, the elasticity and firmness cream, and for free, the Hydrolift Express mask. And we will cover, or Christine, not me, this is her business, your shipping. So thanks, Christine. Click on that link. You say, well, how will I know if I got one? Well, the automation will stop taking orders. If you've got any challenges at all, just direct message me through Messenger. I'll get the Christine the details. We're not going to put personal emails up here for obvious reasons. So go there immediately. Babe, thanks for sharing your story.
Hey, and everybody, thanks for listening. And those of you that ordered or started ordering, I look forward to sending it out, and you can contact me, let me know what you think.
And you'll probably get it by Valentine's Day.
Yes, you will. We've got people ready to start shipping out.
Awesome. Now, folks, let me encourage you. Friday afternoon, I have a very credible, powerful financial expert that is going to rock your world. He's going to tell you about the disaster ahead and how you can outpace it. They're not going to be lowering interest rates soon. I'm telling you that right now. Don't ask me how I know. I know. They have no intention of stopping inflation. Doesn't serve the agenda. But you're going to learn on Friday afternoon, 4 p.m. Brisbane time, international guest from overseas is going to be live on here telling you how to beat the curve. Now, I want to close with this because we were talking about giving people hope and giving solutions. Let me give you some things you can do. Number one, take action. For example, right now, do yourself a favor and feel good about yourself. Number two, protect your children. Protect your children from those screens. Don't let them in room at night watching all this stuff, YouTube and everything else. There needs to be a bit of monitoring. We're concerned because we're grandparents and we're concerned. Don't leave them unsupervised, because I'm telling you, the enemy would want to leave them alone with those devices and sneak in one of these satanic things to lure them in. And just remember this, Satan was a musician. It was a musician that got kicked out of heaven. And he left with all those gifts with him. And of course, what would be the entry point to change a culture, to change ideas about sexuality, to fill them not just with filth, but ideology and political ideology? It's wrong. Music. Because music was created for God and for our pleasure, not for agenda and messages and to groom children. So I want to encourage you to do that. Hey, thanks for listening. Can you press like, subscribe, and share? Join us on all our platforms. We'll put our links in here. By the way, if you get inboxes from Instagram or wherever of me saying, hi, it's Pat here. How you going? Would you like to be mentored? It's not me. No. We don't do that. No. This is our platform, our Reborn, our email. If you're not on our email database, you've got to get on there, folks. info@masidi.com. And I'm going to announce this. Nearly forgot. Prayer and Pushback is coming back February 24th.
Yay.
Now, you will have to register for a Zoom link. I've not released a Zoom link yet. I'm just letting you know. I want you to tell your friends. I've invited some of the greatest speakers in this country, political and otherwise. Because of the nature of the content, we're not going to have it on Facebook. We're not doing that, because I know what they'll do. I'll know what they'll do. I'm not ignorant of the enemy's devices. If you want to be part of this Prayer and Pushback, you will need to register. You will need to register. If you want us to pre-register you, give us your info@masidi.com, info@masidi.com, and Evelyn in our office would only be glad to help you. But just remember, it will not be live streamed on any social media platforms. Alex Addick, Topher Fields, I'm speaking to RBA, David Harris Jr., myself, some great overseas people, some Pauline, Malcolm. They're all going to be here. The war's not over. Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
All right, guys, bit of a longer broadcast than normal, but thank you.
Thanks.
And see you on Friday.